Hi guys, hello and welcome to my vlog. In this video, I'd like to share a book haul, some books that I got in the past weeks or months. I honestly don't know na. But among my books, I think these are the most recent that I haven't shared yet. I think. Some of this I got from thrift bookstores, some I got from Fully Booked, and some I got from Pasabays. Anyways, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books in this vlog. Most of these books I'm not familiar with. They were just on sale and alam mo na, ordered. The first book I got from the mini library in Intramuros. Just outside the Manila Cathedral, there's a booth there that you can exchange a book with or get a book or donate some books, whatever, and it's for free. So if you're a bookworm or if you're within Manila, you should visit there kasi it's really a must visit. Anyways, that book is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. This is one of the books that I am not familiar with, but I'm very much familiar with Neil Gaiman. This is a fantasy romance book, and this is about a young man who will do anything to win the cold heart of beautiful girl, even bring her the star they watch as it falls from the night sky. But to do so, to get the star that fell from the sky, he must cross or enter the unexplored lands of the other side of the ancient barrier that borders their tiny village. And apparently, these lands are the lands of the fairies. There are witches, dragons, hippogriffs, hydras, etc. The usual fairy stuff. So it's kind of an adventure, I guess. So I got this kasi it's interesting and I am familiar with Gaiman. The second book is Daughter of Fortune by Isabel Allende. And there's a point in my reading life na I wanted to read all of the works of Isabel Allende and nagko-collect ako ng books niya. I haven't read any at kahit isa, but I'm collecting her books and this is one of those books na I got. About an orphan raised in Valparaiso, Chile, by a Victorian spinster and her rigid brother, young, vivacious Eliza Summers, follows her lover California during the gold rush of 1849, a danger-filled quest that will become a momentous journey of transformation. In this rough and tumble world of panhandlers and prostitutes, immigrants and aristocrats, Eliza will discover the new life of freedom, independence, and the love greater than any ever dreamed. Ooh, historical fiction, romance. What else would you wish for? I also got a couple of new Collins classics. Hindi pa rin talaga tayo nadadala sa Collins classics. So I got this from Fully Booked. They're both 179. Dalawa sila. I was thinking of getting the Woman in White or the Lady in White. I didn't kasi I thought meron na ako but apparently wala pa. So I got two. I have the Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained by John Milton and Brothers Grimm's Fairy Tales. Excited ako dito. I was thinking of getting a bigger version, yung trade paperback. But this is also nice. It's a mass market copy. I'm so excited to read more classics kasi currently I am reading like YA or something. YA ba yun? But that's for another vlog. Grimm's Fairy Tales is a collection of folk tales that have captured the imaginations of children and adults alike since they were first published in 1812. The best-known stories such as Rumpelstiltskin, Hansel and Gretel, and Frog Prince and Little Red Riding Hood remain as popular today as when first told, although there is an underlying darkness and violence to the original stories. Dark fairy tales, I'm into those. There was a TV series, I think American ata yun, na I was watching before. If you're familiar with Once Upon a Time, it talks about every characters or main characters in every or in different fairy tales na sama-sama sila. It's just so interesting. This one though is a collected stories. So meaning they have separate stories but still very much interesting kasi it discusses the dark side of those fairy tales. Kaya I am very much interested to read this. And Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained, actually, I haven't read this yet. Some college students have had this as a required read for lit, but I don't remember I have read this. I think nag-stick kami sa Shakespeare noon. This Paradise Lost is a poem of epic proportions that tells of Satan's attempts to mislead Eve into disobeying God in the Garden of Eden by eating from the tree of knowledge. The interpretation of the biblical story of Genesis is vivid and intense, and through his telling, Milton justifies God's actions to his readers. In his sequel poem, Paradise Regained, Milton shows Satan trying to seduce Jesus in a similar way to Eve, but ultimately failing as Jesus remains steadfast. So this interpretation of the biblical story is of course very interesting to me. Lahat naman ng books interesting for me. Sana all may time magbasa ng libro every day. These two books, actually three books, I got from one of our members sa book club before when I was a member. She was a co-member and she is decluttering her books from time to time, and I got these books from her. Two of these are fantasy reads. One is a thriller read from Ian Rankin in A House of Lies. So this book follows the story of a private investigator who was missing, presumed dead, until now. And his body is discovered in an abandoned car in an area that had already been searched. Ooh. Detective Inspector Shaban Clark combs through the mistakes of the original investigation. After a decade without answers, it's time for the truth. But it seems everyone involved with the case is hiding something. So in the past weeks, I've been diving into a pool of thrillers and I was enjoying it. A couple of books, whatever. I'm in this phase na nag-i-enjoy ako sa thrillers, kaya I am kind of naghahabol sa classics. So I got a thriller book. That's why I got this. But I got another one here, which is Westbin. Westbin. Nakalimutan ko na kasi ito nakuha. But obviously, this is a pre-loved copy. Basahin ko na lang nasa likod. It always starts with a small lie. Everything big starts with a small lie. That's how you stop noticing the bigger ones. Shucks, quotable. After his friend suspects something strange going on at the satellite facility where they both work and then goes missing, Martin Hepton doesn't believe the official line of long-term sick leave. Refusing to stop asking questions, he lives his old life behind, aware that someone is shadowing his every move. But why? The only hope he has is his girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend, Jill Watson, the only journalist who will believe his story. But neither of them can believe the puzzle they're piecing together, or just how shocking the secret is that everybody wants to stay hidden. Ang hilig niya sa mga hidden, I don't know, crimes or something. Okay, the two books, the fantasy books that I got. The first one is The Binding by Bridget Collins. Tingnan mo, ang ganda yung cover. Super nice. Emmett Former is a binder's apprentice. His job is to handcraft beautiful books, and with an itch to capture something unique and extraordinary. a memory. Ah, I love books about books. If you have something you want to forget or a secret to hide, he can bind it. And you will never have to remember the pain it cost. Benta to these days. In a vault under his mentor's workshop, row upon row of books and secrets are meticulously stored and recorded. Then one day, Emmett makes an astonishing discovery. One of the volumes has his name on it. Super interesting. I was thinking of parting this for this year actually, but that got me more interested. Ooh. There's a kind of a review here. A rich gothic entertainment that explores what books have trapped in them and reminds us the power of storytelling. Shucks. The Binding. Another beautiful book is The Familiars by Stacey Halls. In a time of suspicion and accusation, to be a great woman is the greatest risk of all. You know what? I am currently watching Maria Clara and Ibarra in Netflix, and it's so good. Like, I thought it was corny or something like Baduy, but it's quite nice. It's really good. And it makes me want to reread Noli, Metangere, and El Filibusterismo, to be honest. When I first heard about this series, I was thinking, ay nako, ito na naman yung mga tao, magbabasa na naman because nakita nila sa TV. Apparently it's true. The feeling is true. The feeling is the same. Anyways, in a time of suspicion and accusation, to be a woman is the greatest risk of all. 1612, Fleetwood Shuttleworth is 17-year-old, married and pregnant for the fourth time. 17-year-old and married and pregnant for the fourth time. 1612. But as mistress, she still have no living child, and her husband, Richard, is anxious for an heir. Then she crosses paths by chance with Alice Gray, a young midwife, who promises to help her give birth. But Alice is drawn into the witchcraft accusations that are sweeping the Northwest. Fleetwood risks everything by trying to help her. Witchcrafts, motherhood, young mothers. Okay. The next book is Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. Okay, I don't know what this is, but this was on sale. Is this on sale? So fully booked. Ito na naman, kuha na naman ako ng kuha, wala na akong pera. A young woman in love with a man, torn between his love for her and his incorrigible womanizing, one of his mistresses and her humbly faithful lover. These are the two couples whose story is told in this masterful novel. In a world in which lives are shaped by irrevocable choices and by fortuitous events, a world in which everything occurs but one's existence seems to lose its substance and its weight. Hence, we feel an unbearable lightness of being, not only as the consequences of our pristine actions, but also in the public sphere, in the two inevitably intertwined. The next book is a fantasy, Castle in the Air. And this was on sale, 20% off. I think it's still on sale now, so fully booked. So this is about a young merchant leading a humble life, or he did until a stranger sold him a threadbare and disagreeable magic carpet. Now Abdullah is caught in the middle of his grand daydreams. Walking one night in a luxurious garden, he meets and falls and instantly in love with a beautiful and clever flower in the night. But a wicked jinn sweeps the princess away right before Abdullah's eyes. This is no ordinary quest, however, for Flower in the Night isn't all the jinn has stolen. Abdullah will have the so-called help of the cantankerous carpet, and Cranky Genie in a Bottle. Ooh! Aladdin, ikaw ba yun? The next book is one of the selections for Oprah's book club. Do you trust Oprah's book club? House of Sand and Fog by Andre Dubus III. In this riveting novel of almost unbearable suspense, three fragile yet determined people become dangerously entangled in a relentlessly escalating crisis. Colonel Barani, once a wealthy man in Iran, is now a struggling immigrant. Kathy Nicolo is a troubled young woman whose house is all she has left. Sheriff Lester Burdon, a married man who finds himself falling in love with Kathy, becomes obsessed with helping her fight for justice. Drawn by their competing desires to the same small house in the California hills and doomed by their tragic inability to understand one another, the three converge in an explosive collision course. Teka, hindi ko na gets. And last but not the least, ito yung pinaka-last, not because this is my favorite, but this is a hardbound copy. And this is my first book from BOTM, The Shenda by Isabel Cañas. I actually ordered three different books from BOTM via Pasabay. However, nagkaroon ng concerns, nagkaroon ng challenges, ang daming issues. So, kagulo sila. Kami. And since I don't want hassle na in my life, hindi na ako nangulit or whatever. And when some of the books were made available for exchange, I got this one. Hindi nga lang siya yung target book ko. But I got this because this was compared to Mexican Gothic. I am also getting the vibes, medyo dumidilag na pala. I am also getting the vibes ng isang classic book na I read from Toni Morrison. So I got this na lang. And I'm still waiting for the other book. Sana lang may dumating. But yeah, I got this. It's quite impressive actually. Although it's hardback copy, hindi ako masyadong nagko-collect ng hardbound because I have very limited space and medyo hindi siya ganun ka-portable and I go out a lot. So, yeah. Anyways, those are the books that I got. I just recently got, and since dumidilim na, it's just the right timing not to stop this. To stop filming. Why am I doing this? Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, subscribe, like, and follow me on social media.